Hey guys, it's 10 Types, and I'm super excited to be getting into this video today. I have another deck profile here, and it is of Urshifu with Moltres and also the Chinchino engine. And this deck's really fun, and it has a lot of moving pieces, but works pretty smoothly in my opinion. And it's something I'm going to be messing around with more and improving as time goes on as well. And one thing you may have noticed, a little while back, I posted a Urshifu Chinchino deck, and that was really interesting. It had a lot of different things it did as well, but the one thing I didn't like was that it lost to psychic decks like really badly. I was testing, getting some gameplay for it, and the first thing I hit was Dragapult. I got beat up pretty hard there, so I decided to quickly move on and add in the Moltres, and it makes the deck much better in the Dragapult and Calyrex matchup. Both of those turn from pretty much auto losses to a very favorable matchups. The deck overall feels very smooth as well. I was originally nervous it was going to be clunky, but having a pretty heavy Duncino engine makes it nice. The things we lose out on are the Snorlax, and we also lose out on just a few spaces here or there. But overall, the Moltres feels pretty solid in the list. And the fact that you can miss attachments early on and then just make it up with either Gale Thrust or energy switches into the GMAX Rapid Flow makes the deck super nice. Getting into the list, though, specifically, we just have a 3-2 Urshifu. Obviously, cutting it down some from like a 4-3 or something certainly hurts it in terms of the consistency, but it's not that bad because you can just get it down only like one and then maybe a Moltres or something instead. So you have other options, or if you just get a Moltres down and attach to it, that's fine as well. So you don't need the Urshifu as much. It's certainly an important part of the list, but there's sometimes you might even forgo it completely if you're against something like Shadow Rider or Dragapult, as I mentioned. But you'll definitely use Urshifu, but missing it early on isn't huge. And getting up that draw engine is probably more important than getting up your attacker in this deck. What I really love though is the 4-3 Chinchino line. We still have plenty of room for that and enough search to make it work consistently, which is really cool. It of course has the Make Do ability, same as Zoroark's Trade or Empoleon's Diving Draw, and it just lets you discard a card from your hand to draw a 2, which is really nice, and you can get a bunch of those down to be drawing through your deck really quickly. And getting rid of cards isn't that big of a deal. Once you're set up, you can get rid of other parts of your Chino engine that you don't really need, or parts of the draw engine aside from those, such as the V-Searches or Marnies, as well as the Ball Search. You also have the last Pokemon here being the Galarian Moltres V, and it's just super powerful, as I said, for the Dragapult and Shadow Rider matchups. And it also, of course, allows you to stream Gmax Rapid Flows if that's what you are looking to do in the matchup, using the energy switch off of it. And then you can also just use it as another attacker for a better prize trade. You can force him to taking 8 prizes or something if you go Urshifu, Moltres, and then hit him with another Urshifu. Of course, only 2 means that it's not like the most consistent. You're not gonna necessarily always get your heal game plan. You should get something pretty solid. You might miss one of the attackers, but most matchups either attacker is pretty solid. So you can go in with the other and then build up to your preferred attacker later on through the really powerful Chinchino engine. Going into the trainers here, though, we see some really standard stuff. We just see the 4 quick ball, 4 level ball, 4 incense. And honestly, that's just something you can't cut. It's really important to be able to set up your engine and also get your attackers out. And the quick ball is nice for the discard synergy to discard darkness energy to power up Moltres, but it's not as important either because you, of course, have the Chinchinos, which do work really well in Moltres, allowing you to discard those to accelerate them. Uh, a lot of decks can really struggle to discard stuff. I played a lot of Melanie and Teleon. That deck really struggles because you only have quick balls, but now you have the quick balls and the Chinchinos. Still have no problem getting the Dark Energy into the discard, and it's something, in fact, you're glad to get rid of with the Make Do. So it's really nice and glad to get rid of with the quick ball. So that's pretty cool. We play the 12 search, which is pretty standard in Inteleon decks as well. and it really allows us to get down our early Urshifus, early Moltres, and of course the Cinccino engine going. Then we see, in terms of supporters, we have 4 copies of Marnie and 2 of Research, so it's 2 Birdkeeper. Nothing crazy there. Obviously, the Birdkeeper creating some nice synergy with the Urshifu in order to swing in for the powerful Gale Thrust for 150 for only 1 energy, which is really nice, and just functions as another switch. And then obviously draws us 3 cards in the process. One really interesting thing about this deck, though, with the Cinccino engine, obviously you're going to be growing your hand size. Unlike Italian decks where you just get certain cards right when you want them, you can have everything all the time with Cinccino, or at least hopefully. And if you're constantly getting rid of your hand with Marnian Research, you're not going to really be getting what you want to. So that's why we play the 2 copies of Birdkeeper to expand our hand. You could put in other types of regular draw. You could even put in from Fusion Strike the Schoolboy or Schoolgirl if that's what you want. You could put in Avery. But Birdkeeper obviously provides a nice switch out. I've considered putting Sonya in. I've kind of liked that card in Urshifu because it allows you to set up nicely. So I might mess around with that. But overall, you want a solid draw support to be able to find your pieces early on and then continue to hit the right pieces later on as well. But how you also see that we have a lot of non-draw supporters as well. We have 3 boss and 1 Cheryl. It's kind of weird that we play such a high count of bosses orders in Urshifu, a deck that often does a lot of damage to the bench. But the reason we play that is because you may notice we don't play Passimian, we don't play Telescopic Sight either. So we really need to be able to hit what we want when we want it for as much as we can. And the most we can do is 150 or even 190 with a Moltres. So we need to be able to target down exactly what we want, exactly when we need it. And then the Cheryl is something I really love in Urshifu. And honestly, I'd hate playing without it in this deck because it's just so powerful. Either after a G-Max Rapid Flow, get no energy on, and you're drawing tons of cards as well, so you can definitely power it up again. You just need to Cheryl off the damage. If they hit you with something really powerful, such as Leafeon, Sylveon. I guess not Sylveon because they would probably one-shot you with weakness, but like a Leafeon, Ice Rider, maybe a Zacian, anything that hits you for like 200 or something, you just heal off all that immediately and then go in for either another Gale Thrust or with the Energy Switch plus Rapid Strike, you can just go straight in with another G-Max Rapid Flow, which is really nice. And we play a Pal Pad in there to recover it as well. I might change out the Pal Pad. I'm not loving it. I find that it's like fine, but not great in the deck. So I could cut it. It's not that bad though. You may want to discard supporters and cover them with Pal Pad if you're like make doing them away or something. So I think that the Pal Pad's a solid inclusion, and honestly mainly there for using the Cheryl, as we do play a high count of boss and pretty substantial counts for draw support as well. But and then we also play a ton of other switch cards. We play, in addition to the 2 Birdkeeper, an Escape Rope, 3 Switch, and 2 Air Balloon. Just really solid all around. You really want to get into active whatever it is. You could even see dropping these some, but Gale Thrust is honestly our main attack a lot of the time, and switching out into the Aura Burn of the Moltres for the really powerful 190 is important as well. So we may just put an Air Balloon on, say, a Moltres and an Urshifu and swing back and forth between those 2. And we can also just Birdkeeper or switch into it whenever we need to. We can't really get boss trapped because we have all these switch outs, which is really nice. And then the escape rope is really cool because if our opponent has something that we don't want active, but we just want something to literally anything else, escape rope's really good for that. Honestly, I don't love rope in the deck, but there are definitely times when you'll want it. I could see upping it to 2, I could see dropping it to 0, but that extra switch is really nice. You also play copy of Tool Scrapper, which could be used in combination with Boss or Escape Rope to stall our opponents, because then we can really remove an Air Balloon or something. A lot of decks play Air Balloon, and they'll just send up a pivot if you rope it, or you can boss up something. And Tool Scrapper is just super nice. It also helps out against Zacian decks or any other 2 prize V that has Cape of Toughness. It also helps against Leafeon with its Tool Jammer. Overall, it's a really strong card, and pretty much all decks want to fit in Tool Scrapper or Tool Jammer. And obviously, we don't want Jammer as it will take the same slot as Air Balloon on our Pokemon. So Scrapper is really good. And then lastly, we have a copy of Energy Search, which is really nice to be able to find us either a Dark Energy or a Psychic, or sorry, or a Fighting. And then we have the 2 copies of Energy Switch, which is obviously there to be paired with Moltres. You attach the energy to Moltres through its Direflame Wings ability, and then you move it off right onto Urshifu, which is really good, and then allows you to string those GMAX Rapid Flows, which can be really powerful for you as they kind of almost double your damage output, and they show it to one source, but you can spread across the board and take KOs really well that way. I think this list is overall really solid, has a good matchup spread. It's a very fun deck to play, then also doesn't use an Inteleon engine, which is something people are getting a bit bored of now. And it's something I'd really recommend anyone play. It's not that expensive. Obviously, Urshifu isn't the cheapest thing in the world, but you can definitely get it for not a crazy amount because the cards aren't super new. And I feel like its matchup spread's really nice. With me VMAX just around the corner, packing going to a pre-release today. Hopefully, I pull one, but it's very powerful Pokemon, very scary threat to Urshifu, but the Moltres is just a really nice counter. They definitely don't play Path in that deck, so you should be in there and just be able to do a lot of damage to them with the Moltres, maybe finish stuff off with your Urshifu. And thank you for watching the video, though. I feel like the deck's really cool, and I'm going to show off it some gameplay hopefully in the next few days. And I really appreciate it if you liked the video. But really important to me is if you commented thoughts you had, if you liked it, obviously, but also if you didn't, and stuff you're looking forward to, then stuff that you'd like me to do as well. I hopefully will be able to make some different kind of content. I'm really considering possibly doing like live streams on YouTube, which would be really neat, and some other stuff as well. It's really nice to grow my channel. I appreciate all the support, and just growing everything is really fun, really great for me, and I hope it's really good for you guys too. And I'm excited to see you in the next video.